good evening and welcome to Newsfirst Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Columbo. Today is the 18th of March 2024. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jayamal Ratnayaka.
And I'm Rochelle Tumodra. Let's start off the look at your headlines for tonight.
Who is to blame for cancer patients being inoculated with substandard medicine? What is the progress of the investigation?
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විදිහට එවැනි කටයුතු පිළිබඳව තාමත්ම තදින් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
No confidence motion against the Speaker to be debated tomorrow. Speaker to deliver a special statement. Iran Vikramaratne concerned over Rohita Abad appointment as COPE chairman resigns from the committee. Rohita says he will seek legal action against Vijita for criticizing the appointment. Final rites of the Sri Lankans killed in Ottawa held in Canada. Russian President Vladimir Putin wins 5th term. Bangladesh wins ODI series against Sri Lanka.
We start off tonight's bulletin by bringing to your attention more details on scandals in the health sector that are now being brought to light one by one. Do you remember the stories surrounding the immunoglobulin drug? 10 people, including former Minister of Health Kehelian Ramukwella, have now been placed in remand custody in connection to this deal.
Government hospitals were provided with batches of human immunoglobulin which turned out to be saline or a similar fluid. A substandard cancer medication had also been manufactured and distributed to local hospitals. Details about this scandal were unearthed in courts last week. Today's special report delves into this massive scam.
Rituximab is a vaccine administered to cancer patients to destroy cancer cells. Last Thursday, Deputy Solicitor General of the Attorney General's Department, Lakmini Girihagama, revealed at the Maliga Kanda Court that the injection was manufactured with a liquid substance which was substandard. Newsfirst brought this matter to the people's attention on the 12th of October 2023. Experts too raised concerns regarding the drug at the time. This substandard medicine was also manufactured by the same company that manufactured substandard human immunoglobulin, that is Isoles Biotech Pharma. Its owner is now in remand custody with the group including the former health minister. 1,200 vials of this cancer drug named Rituximab was supplied to state hospitals. The low-quality nature of this drug was confirmed when other drugs manufactured by the company were tested following the human immunoglobulin incident. The Deputy Solicitor General informed court of the details that were confirmed by the specialist medical committee that studied the medicine at the Apeksha Hospital in Maharagama. What was the Health Ministry's response regarding this serious matter?
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විදිහට එවැනි කටයුතු පිළිබඳව තාමත්ම තදින් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. ඒ සඳහා පරීක්ෂණයක් ආරම්භ කරලා තිබෙනවා.
How many patients was this drug administered to? What was the outcome? This is the Health Ministry's response.
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ හැම විටම ලබා දෙන බෙහෙත් ඖෂධ ඉතාමත්ම ගුණාත්මක ඖෂධ තමයි ජනතාවට ලබා දෙන්නේ. ඒවා පිළිබඳ පරීක්ෂා කිරීම නිරන්තරයෙන් සිද්ධ කරගෙන යනු ලබනවා. ඒ අනුව අවශ්‍ය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගන්නවා.
The ministry echoed similar sentiments when queried regarding human immunoglobulin. Since both these matters are now before courts, the ministry will be compelled to provide more scientific responses. Payments had been made for 3,985 vials of substandard human immunoglobulin. The payment amounted to an eye-watering 44 million rupees. The low-quality medicine had been purchased through an agreement signed between the owner of Isoles Biotech and the Health Secretary on the 4th of January last year. The total cost of the transaction would have amounted to around 1 billion rupees of taxpayers' funds. The drugs had made their way into the medical supply system since waiver of registration had been issued by the NMRA for this specific medicine. However, the NMRA later informed that the particular waiver of registration was a fraudulent one. Nevertheless, all these details will eventually come to light through judicial proceedings. When Newsfirst perused certain documents regarding this matter, we were able to ascertain information claiming that ingredients are imported from India to manufacture drugs in Sri Lanka. The NMRA was very well aware of the manufacturer in question. It is further fortified by the decision the NMRA had taken previously to reject permission for the company to manufacture drugs after it conducted quality control tests at the company. According to the details available, the substandard medicine had been manufactured in Sri Lanka. The question before courts is, how did the Medical Supplies Division distribute batches of medicine that were supplied fraudulently, claiming they were imported from India, when in fact they were manufactured right here in Sri Lanka?
If
the NMRA grants approval to import a drug without registration, that is also a form of approval. The NMRA has forgotten that. There are many things to consider to give that approval. The country doesn't need a medicines regulatory authority to grant waivers of registration fees. The cancer drugs, human immunoglobulin, and all 183 drugs brought are with the fraudulent network. Fraud was committed with regard to all 183 drugs. We would like to tell the CID, seeking advice from clinical experts only will not reveal the depth of this fraud. 20 billion can be recovered only from this fake drug network alone. The Health Ministry should work to recover that 20 billion. The NMRA is still issuing WRs arbitrarily. If anyone thinks that NMRA has corrected itself, that is not the case.
Specialist Dr. Ananda Vijayvikrama is the current chairman of the NMRA. Newsfirst spoke to him regarding this complex matter.
A basic requirement to bring medicine to Sri Lanka is to register it. An expert committee will consider facts about the medicine and decide whether it can be registered or not. If it can be done, it will be allowed. In some instances, when the registered medicine is not available, permission is granted to import medicine without registration. An expert committee is appointed for this purpose. They conduct an assessment that is not as thorough as the usual process, based on the requirements, and decide whether the medicine can be brought with the waiver of registration, and a special approval is granted. However, in the recent past, medicine was brought outside of that process. I won't comment on it further because it is an ongoing legal case. We have completely stopped the importation of drugs by avoiding the expert committee stage. So it should either be a registered drug, or if a non-registered drug needs to be brought for an emergency, it should be assessed by a committee first.
Is this not a case of closing the stable door? After the horse has bolted, what became of the patients who administered these substandard drugs? Who will be held responsible and accountable for this misdealing? Can we discount the value of a human life for monetary benefits?
Do you remember the data deletion scandal of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority? Here is a reminder of the case that still remains unresolved.
23rd July 2021. The Lanka government cloud stored sensitive data for the public. This data includes details from national identity cards, land deeds, bank accounts, maps, criminal case file numbers, judicial records, and medicine information. For the first time, a complaint was filed with the Criminal Investigation Department regarding the deletion of sensitive data from the government cloud. 3rd of October 2021. A committee of specialists were appointed to recover the information that was lost by the NMRA. 6th of October 2021. Making an application before the Columbo Chief Magistrates Court, Senior Deputy Solicitor General Dileepa Piris said that medicine smugglers are exploiting the spread of the COVID-19 virus in the country to their advantage. A data officer at EPIC deleted the information on the government cloud over a period of 7 hours. He highlighted that this is an organized crime and an extensive investigation needs to be conducted to bring the perpetrators to book. 6th of October 2021. When produced before court, the data officer said that this data wipe was not a mistake but a deliberate act. 13th of October 2021. A 5-member investigative team delving into the National Medicines Regulatory Authority's conduct revealed that similar scandals had occurred at the NMRA over the years. If a single person can access a system containing highly sensitive data vital for national security, how can we be assured that our data will be protected in the future? Who is the mastermind behind this? What became of this investigation? When will the truth be brought to light?
Discourse has arisen regarding the appointment of Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna MP Rohita Abad as chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises or COP, which has the authority to investigate transactions of state enterprises and report to Parliament. The Jatika Jana Balawege recently expressed criticism regarding the appointment, and MP Rohita Abad said legal action will be taken in this regard.
Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna MP Professor Ranjit Bandara previously held the post of chairman of the COPE committee. Opposition factions raised serious allegations regarding his actions on the 14th of November 2023 during the Sri Lanka cricket investigation. The COPE committee didn't convene for several months following the allegations, and amidst this situation the President prorogued Parliament on the 26th of January 2024. The prorogation effectively ended the term of the COPE committee, creating the need for members to be appointed to the committee once again when the new Parliament session commenced. Accordingly, when the COPE committee convened following the commencement of the new Parliament session, MP Rohita Abad was appointed as the new chairman of the COPE committee with a majority vote based on a proposal by SLPP MP Mahindananda Alutgamage. This appointment was criticised during a media briefing convened by the Jatika Jana Balawege last week.
Although agreements are being reached with the IMF today to eradicate fraud and corruption in the country, as everyone is aware, another thief is appointed as the chairman of the COPE committee. How can a thief be appointed to catch other thieves?
Later, MP Rohita Abad said he will file a case against MP Wijitha Herath regarding this statement. Thereafter, the Jatika Jana Balawege issued a response to MP Abad.
Thieves get flustered when you call them a thief, but what else can you call them? We gladly accept the letter of demand. It is a good opportunity for us as well to present facts in court as to the reasons for our statement. He gave false excuses when he was called to the bribery commission. He is still shying away from it. So we will be happy if he himself files a case and we can meet him in court.
MP Rohita Abad responded to this once again today.
Rohita Abad is not someone who will step back. I will send a letter of demand, and if they fail to respond, I will file a court case. Many MPs representing the JVP are always trying to vilify people. After making stories since 2015 for the past 9 years, have they caught?
Samagi Jana Balawege MP Eran Vikramaratne today resigned from his membership in the COPE committee.
මම අහන්න කැමති ප්‍රශ්නේ ඇවිල්ලා මේ පත් කරන අය ගැන තියෙන චෝදනාවල් වන මොනවත් විමස.
Have you looked into the allegations faced by those appointed? If suitable people are not appointed to this, it will be a serious issue, as we won't be able to eradicate corruption. If the government reaches such decisions, Parliament also loses its place.
ඒ කියන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට තියෙන පිළිගැනීම නැති වෙගෙන යනවා.
Parliamentarian Dr. Nalka Godaheva also expressed views regarding the COPE committee today.
The COPE
committee was appointed again and the government appointed one of the MPs as chairman. There are concerns regarding this MP. The opposition is questioning if he is a trustworthy person to hold the chairmanship of the COPE committee.
The Supreme Court was informed today that the fisher folk affected by the Express Pearl disaster have not been fairly compensated. Several fundamental rights petitions challenging the compensation provided to fisher folk and the assessment of damages caused to the marine environment by the Express Pearl disaster were called up today.
The fundamental rights petitions were called up today before a 5-judge bench comprising of Justices Murdu Fernando, Yasantha Kodagoda, Shiran Gunaratna, Achala Vengapuli and Priyantha Fernando. Counsel Himali Kularatna, appearing for Reverend Father Sarath Idamalgoda, told court that a large number of fisher folk have not been properly compensated, despite claims that compensation has already been provided. She added that the authorities haven't provided a full report on the fisher folk who have been compensated. Therefore, she requested the court's intervention to obtain the details. After considering the arguments, the 5-judge bench directed the Attorney General to submit all the details on the compensation process. These FR petitions were filed by several parties, including Archbishop of Columbo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, and Dr. Ajanta Pereira from the Centre for Environmental Justice. The petitions will be called up again on the 29th, 30th and 31st of July.
The calculation of compensation for the Express Pearl disaster has stalled since 30th of November 2022 and no progress has been made. This delay significantly hinders our country's ability to obtain compensation. We informed the court of this issue and they advised us to contact the relevant authorities and take necessary measures.
The no-confidence motion against the Speaker is set to be debated in Parliament tomorrow.
The motion of no confidence against Speaker Mahindayapa Abewardena was jointly submitted by members of the opposition over their dissatisfaction regarding the Speaker's handling of the online safety bill. The vote for the motion following the debate will take place on Wednesday, the 20th of March at 4:30 p.m. The Speaker's office said that Speaker Mahindayapa Abewardena is expected to make a special statement following the vote as he cannot participate in the debate. Today's newspapers revealed that the Speaker will disclose information alleging that some politicians even pressured him to take over the presidency in violation of the constitution during the period of the Aragalaya.
Let me be clear. We are taking the necessary steps to win the upcoming no-confidence motion against the Speaker. This motion is not politically motivated. It seems from serious concerns regarding the Speaker's actions. Specifically, the Speaker is alleged to have passed a bill without considering Supreme Court rulings, seemingly to accommodate the government's wishes. That is a blatant breach of trust. There is no conspiracy by the opposition leaders. The Speaker's decision, however, was entirely justified. Therefore, we have defended him and the no-confidence motion will fail. This is not a decision we take lightly. After careful consideration, we believe it is essential to hold the Speaker accountable, while the Speaker is supposed to be a non-political independent figure. Unbiased towards the government, our concerns lie in their actions. The current Speaker has consistently favoured the government, failing to fulfil their duty of impartiality.
In some trending international news, Russia's Central Election Commission confirmed that Russian President Vladimir Putin has won his 5th term with a record number of votes. Vladimir Putin issued a big warning to the West after claiming victory in the Russian presidential elections.
Putin said that a direct conflict between Russia and the US-led NATO military alliance would mean the planet was one step away from World War III, but said hardly anyone wanted such a scenario.
Vladimir Putin gave a victory speech at his campaign headquarters in Moscow after preliminary results from the Russian presidential election showed him securing a 5th term. Speaking in front of his supporters on Sunday night, Putin stressed that the only source of power in the country is the Russian people, adding that the vote of every citizen counts when it comes to charting the nation's course.
I would like to say one more time, this is an extremely important thing. This is not a formal legal thing. The source of power in the country is the Russian people. We have a lot of things to resolve in the future, but when we are united, I think it's become clear for everyone. Whoever wants to threaten us or bully us, whoever wants to suppress us, our will, our us, and they were not successful in the past, and they will not be successful in the future in trying to suppress us. our grandiose plans that we have, that I voiced in my address to the government, all of these objectives will be achieved. All of this will be achieved, and we will do everything possible for it. Before us, there are a lot of very specific tasks. The results of the elections is just an expression of trust of people and their hope that we will do everything according to our plans. I would like to thank all of you and all citizens of Russia for this trust and this support.
Weighing in on the possibility of a direct confrontation between NATO and Russia, Putin said that anything is possible in the modern world and warned that it, quote, would be one step shy of a full-scale World War III, unquote. He stressed that Moscow was well aware of the US-led military bloc's push to deploy troops in Ukraine. Putin noted that volunteer fighters from NATO states are facing extremely grim prospects, saying, quote, there is nothing good in this, first of all for them, because they died there and in large numbers, unquote. The general voter turnout in the presidential election in Russia, including the votes given online, has reached an all-time high of 77.44% over the entire history of presidential campaigns in the country since 1991.
When's the election?
Taking a look at local news, will Sri Lanka face a presidential election first, or will it be a general election?
As the preparations for an election are underway, a strong interest is brewing among the youth associated with political parties. The Samagi Jana Balawegaya and the Jatika Jana Balawegaya had organized youth meetings at 2 locations over the weekend, targeting the upcoming elections.
The weekend conference of the Samagi Tharuna Balawegaya was held in Katupota. This conference was held under the theme Sihina Dinana Rataka Javaya.
What did we ask for? We asked for quality education. We asked for jobs that match our qualifications or a sufficient wage. Have we received any of these in the current society? They said that the youth is the force that fights for the society's future. Yes, it is true. We are a force that fights for social equality. I think you should be the same as well. We should rise against the injustice that is done to us by incapable rulers.
A main challenge faced by many of us is the lack of capital for business ventures. I also started facing the same challenge. If I too had an initial capital for my startup, I would have exported bananas under my own brand. For now, I export under an international company's banner. Many of our young people leave our country due to this issue. If ways of obtaining initial capital for young entrepreneurs were figured out, many would decide to stay.
Capital එකක් සදාගන්න යම් ක්‍රමවේදයක් සකසනවා නම් මම හිතනවා ලොකු පිරිසක් මෙහි රැඳෙයි.
අපි අද ගමන් කරන්නේ ඉලක්කයක් නැති අනාගතයක් දිහාවට.
Today we are walking blindly into the future with no clear goals in sight. If the youth has no direction, it's akin to society as a whole lacking a vision. To rebuild from this crisis, we must empower our youth by giving them a stake in our future. This means active participation, not just token gestures. Our youth has become prey for many political parties. We tragically lost a majority of our youth during the 1987 to 89 riots. This highlights the ulterior motives of some political players. Furthermore, the civil war that raged from 1983 to 2007 took a heavy toll, claiming the lives of many Sinhala and Tamil brothers. Whether through riots or war, these crises weren't inevitable. They were fueled by deliberate actions. Amidst these conflicts, it's clear that our youth suffered immensely.
Veteran vocalist Rukanta Gunatilaka, popular singer Raini Gunatilaka, musician Peshana Manoj and a group also performed at the event. The youth conference of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya kicked off over the weekend with a march to the Gangabadu Udanaya in Matara. The youth conference was held under the theme Youth Api Set Ekama Fit Ekේ Maalimawata Yannai.
Are we truly free? The people of this country are unable to reap the benefits of our own resources which are being sold off. Education is being robbed from the children of our community. Only a minority is able to receive quality education. Our people are unable to access quality healthcare. That too is only enjoyed by a minority. That freedom too is robbed from our people. People today cannot even enjoy the rights and title to their land, while a majority has no such issue. 76 years after we won independence from foreign rule in 1948, we are still not absolutely free. We must win that freedom. Five executive presidents who were elected by the people of this country have flocked together today and are ready to take a stand against the people and the youth. Why is that? They are scared today. For the first time, the people are ready to hold power. The citizen is not afraid to exercise their right. National security, as Basil Rajapaksa refers to it, is the security of the VIPs. The country and its people are in danger. Our country should be protected even if it means the people die of hunger. That is the slogan they used to mislead the youth and people. What they've always done is this. They promised to protect the rights and freedoms of the citizen, using it as a facade, while focusing on self-enrichment and preservation. If you are going to continue to be fooled by a sack of rice offered in exchange for your vote, we have a question. Are you truly part of the youth of our generation?
ඔවුන් තවදුරටත් තරුණයන්ද කියන ප්‍රශ්නය අපිට තියෙනවා. අපේ රටේ විද්වතුන්, ව්‍යාපාරිකයන්, වෘත්තිකයන් දැන්
Academics, professionals and others are now near the wall. Our artists and religious leaders have gathered to break it down. Farmers, fishermen and women too have flocked together. Who are we waiting for now? None other than the enthusiastic forces of our youth. That is the beginning we have marked today in Matara. This era of entitlement enjoyed by Ranil, Sajith and the Rajapaksas will draw to a close soon. That is what we have symbolized today in Matara.
Veteran singers Krishant Erankanda, Indrachapa Liyanage, Samanali Fonseca and Upeka Nirmani also performed at the event.
Wins the election.
Former MP Hirunika Premachandra filed a fundamental rights petition challenging the appointment of Deshbandhu Tennakon as the Inspector General of Police.
Considering
the number of days remaining in the current president's term, it's only about 3 months. This translates to just 3 poor days before he must relinquish all his current positions. Regardless of any political games or party directives, the constitution mandates a presidential election within 3 months.
Wins the election.
Professor G.L. Peris explained the time frame for the election according to the constitution.
The Election Commission will have to declare the presidential election around 17 July. That is when it all starts. The election must be held between September 17 and October 17. September 17th is a Poya day, so it must be held between the 18th of September and the 17th of October. That is a must.
The 86th phase of the Sakula program was held today with the participation of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. A bus was donated to the Mahinda Rajapaksha Vidyalaya in Matara. The opposition leader said the SJB and himself are working on initiatives that no one else has.
දැන් තවත් ක්‍රමයේ වෙනසක් අපි ඇති කරලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ පාසලේ නමත් මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ජාතික පාසල.
We have now made another system change. The name of the school is also Mahinda Rajapaksa. What is the culture in the education system of this country? We can't even approach a school, a hospital as a politician who holds opposing views. Some people call me the busman for donating buses. I gave a bus to the Tambuttegama Vidyalaya where he studied at. I didn't marginalize that school because the person who called me the busman studied at that school. I have not become the the president of the country. I have not made promises to fulfill after I become the president. It is not relevant to me but to everyone else. Why is it not relevant to me? Because my team and I have initiated a program that no one else has, that is working before making false promises. So please don't involve my name or my team in that load of garbage.
ඔය පරණ ජරා ජීර්ණ ගොඩට මාව නම් දාන්න දෙන්න එපා. මගේ කණ්ඩායම දාන්නත් දෙන්න එපා.
News First with the people.
The final rites of the Sri Lankans who were killed in Ottawa Candy were held yesterday.
A multi-faith funeral service for the Sri Lankan victims of Ottawa's mass killing is set to take place tomorrow. The final rites were held with the support of the Hilda Jayawardhanarame Buddhist Monastery and the Sri Lankan community in Canada.
Religious leaders offering condolences.
Danushka Wickramasinghe, who was injured in the incident, also attended the funeral. Foreign media reported that Wickramasinghe expressed shock over the incident along with his family. The wife and 11-year-old daughter of Gamini Amarakoon, the other Sri Lankan who died in the incident, were also at the funeral.
You are amazing dad, and not only a dad, you are an amazing friend and an amazing husband to me, and that everyone here misses you a lot, and we're sorry that we weren't there when you needed it, and I hope you have a good time wherever you are.
I still feel that you will ring me anytime. The wonderful time we spent together, the memories we collected together, will always be in our hearts.
People have forgotten their differences and are mourning and are finding ways to build the life of the survivors going forward. I am humbled by the human spirit to be able to rally in this difficult time.
5 members of Danushka Wickramasinghe's family and an acquaintance was killed at their home in Ottawa on the 2nd of March. The Ottawa police arrested 19-year-old Fabio de Sousa in connection with the murders.
The Asian Development Bank, or the ADB, has approved a $100 million loan for SMEs in Sri Lanka.
The Asian Development Bank has approved a $100 million loan to provide small and medium-sized enterprises in Sri Lanka more access to finance and build their resilience to external shocks such as the economic crisis and climate change. This project will provide working capital and improve SMEs' access to finance, helping them expand operations and prepare for the changing environment. ADB, through participating financial institutions, will open a $50 million line of credit for underserviced SMEs in the export, tourism, technology, agriculture and manufacturing sectors. It will establish a $500,000 special facility to cover guarantee subsidies for women-led SMEs. A gender gap assessment will be conducted with a view to improving women's access to finance. The project will build on the government's equity contribution through the National Credit Guarantee Institution Limited, which provides partial credit guarantees on loans to SMEs. ADB will help the NCGI adopt procedures to effectively support SMEs, including underwriting guarantees, risk management and risk-based pricing, and guarantee recovery operations. The project will incorporate green finance elements through climate adaptation and mitigation measures for SMEs.
The Symphony Orchestra of Sri Lanka proudly presents SOSL Concert, a musical masterpiece conducted by Kiko Kiyobashi with the world premiere of Lalnath De Silva's first cello concert with soloist Dushanti Pereira, One Soups, Light Cavalry Overture and Brahms' First Symphony. 23rd of March, 7 p.m. onwards at the Lionel Wendt Theatre. Tickets available now. Electronic media sponsors: Yes 101, Legends 966, Newsfirst and TV1.
Welcome back to the news. A musical performance was held in Columbo over the weekend to celebrate the French language and Francophonie cultures.
A music performance was held in Columbo during the weekend with the view of celebrating Francophonie 2024, the annual celebrations of the French language and Francophonie cultures with Swiss music artist Marc Eamon and Mila Bisson. It was hosted by the Embassy of Switzerland to Sri Lanka and the Maldives together with the International Organization of La Francophonie. The inaugural performance was held in Columbo on Saturday, with many people in attendance, including Ambassador of Switzerland to Sri Lanka, Cyril Walt, and Ambassador of France to Sri Lanka, Jean-Francois Pactet. The lead artist, Mark Ehrman, is a poet and is a passionate singer, and his songs are widely played in French-speaking countries and has performed at the Francophonie festivals in Paraguay, France, Buenos Aires, Kenya, Rwanda, and Egypt. Mila Bisson is a Swiss singer-songwriter with concerts to her credit in the French-speaking regions globally.
The Maldives said that the ballot boxes for the upcoming parliamentary elections will be placed in foreign countries, including Sri Lanka.
Maldives Election Commission said that the ballot boxes for the upcoming parliamentary election will be placed in Sri Lanka, India and Malaysia. The polling authority informed that the ballot boxes for the upcoming parliamentary election will be placed in Sri Lanka's Colombo, Kerala's capital Thiruvananthapuram and Malaysia's Kuala Lumpur. This development came after over 150 people re-registered to vote in each of these three countries. Foreign media reported that on Saturday, the 6-day window that allows citizens to relocate their voting stations for the 21st of April parliamentary elections expired. This decision came after around 11,000 Maldivians urged the top electoral body to relocate their polling stations and therefore submitted re-registration requests. The election will be held on the 21st of April.
Bangladesh defeated Sri Lanka by 4 wickets in the third one-day international to seal a 2-1 series victory.
The third ODI of the Sri Lanka tour of Bangladesh got underway today in Chattogram. Pathum Nisanka opened the innings for the Sri Lankan side with Avishka Fernando. Sri Lanka's first 2 wickets fell for 15 runs. Janith Lienage was Sri Lanka's top scorer, who recorded his maiden ODI ton, scoring an unbeaten 101 with 11 fours and 2 sixes. Sri Lanka ended their innings on 235 and set the hosts a target of 236 for victory. Bangladesh opener Tanzil Hassan scored 84 runs. Lahir Kumara was the pick of the bowlers for Sri Lanka, claiming 4 scalps. Bangladesh claimed victory by 4 wickets and 58 balls to spare, stealing the ODI series 2-1 in the process. Rizad Hussain was named man of the match, while skipper Najmul Hussain Shanto was named man of the series.
What a wonderful display, especially from Rizad Hussain, who was and it believes not only a 1 or 2.
And with that, it's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.